What I'm coming to realize right now is we're 70% animal, 30% intelligence, you know? And that's true if you look at evolution, how we came all this way, you know? We all came from Africa like 300,000 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. We're the cousins to monkeys and chimpanzees and all that. And if you look at like medieval times, like before, there was a lot of killing, right? I mean, we had slavery. I mean, slavery just ended like 200 years ago, if not even like, 150 years ago, which is kind of crazy. Heck, slavery still goes on to this day in third world countries and stuff like that. Who are we kidding? The sweatshops, Nike and all these big corporation, big companies making their iPhones and their shoes in like Bangladesh and China and paying them like $1 a day. Who are we kidding? This still goes on. The whole 9 to 5, the rat race. I mean, this still goes on to this day, right? But in Western countries, at least like when you work, they pay you and you're able to live better and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, but I came to realize just our species, we're flawed creatures, absurd creatures. I know I made a video, like my earlier videos on that, but it's not just we're absurd creatures. I started realizing that we're creatures that gain like intelligence, and that's why we rule the whole world. Like obviously, lions and buffaloes are stronger than us, right? We can't beat them in one on one, but we conquered everything, right? We put them in zoos because we can tap into our potential. We can think, we can build stuff, we can create, we can communicate. Other animals, not so much. They can't communicate on our level. They can't think on our level, right? But I always tell myself we are barbaric. We have it in us. That's why you see wars, killing, all these bad things, you know? Um, but our intelligence is only like 30%. And I feel like when I look at most of the world, I feel like most people is like 99% animal or 90% animal, like 5% intelligence or 10%. Like they're not really tapping into their brain. And the more self aware I come, I start tapping more into the potential and kind of realizing that most of us we still have that monkey brain, the barbaric brain. Now we're living in an advanced society. We have to push through. We have to get rid of all that, like you see a lot of this in guys too. They have high testosterone. Most crimes are committed by men when you actually look at the data, look at the statistics, because they have high testosterone. But guys, they have that whole toxic masculine. Like if someone says to you outside, someone says something to you outside, you go fight them, you go beat them, and whoever beats the other person is a stronger person, and he was the right person, and you're a man, and you can do it like this, and you can do it like that. It was really stupid, And this is why high school is a very scary and stupid place because you have teenagers that they're basically like animals. And as I got older, I'm like, this is advanced society and living in Canada. We can use our words. And then people are like, oh, you're a bitch, you're a pussy, you can't fight. Just say you can't fight. Just say you can't. And people are like missing the whole point and stuff like that. I think we all know we all have it in ourselves to kill someone, to beat someone, but we feel like we don't want to do it. Like someone comes robbing my house, someone's getting stabbed, you know, someone's dying. But that's only because I'm protecting myself. And when they bring me to court, they're gonna be like, that's self defense. He was protecting himself. He was in his pajamas. It was late at night. Someone came, 2, 3 guys came. So that's why they have those type of laws, right? They don't want to put you in jail for you doing self defense. You know what I mean? That's why it's self defense and you kill someone, they let you go because it's self defense, right? I think we're all able to understand that on a higher level. Um, so when I'm looking what's going on in the state of the world, especially all this TikTok and social media, it's really bringing out the worst of us, the likes, the views, the followers, the money, everything, the porn, the lust, everything. It's really bringing the monkey brain, that barbaric, the animal, the caveman mentality. A lot of people are not getting out of that. And this also applies to women too. I started realizing that too. Like a lot of women, it's kind of like, nah, you have to be 6 feet, you have to have 6 figures, you have to be rich, you have to be like this. And it's kind of like this person hasn't like awakened, hasn't ascended. A lot of women haven't. I think what a lot of men, they don't understand women, Um, I'm starting to realize, like, I understand women now, and that's why people say women are crazy and women are crazy. Most of them are. Most of them are. And most of them are childish, and immature. They haven't really grown up. And I think it's not because they're stupid. It just stems from we're really nice with women. We cuddle like, oh my gosh, she's so cute. Oh my god, any guy would be lucky to have her. With men, we're kind of like, nah, step up, bro, level up, bro. You're a loser, bro. You need to take it to the next level. So it's always like that with men, right? Um, right? Women don't really get that as much. Like she'll be crying in the park, and be like, "Oh my god, sweetheart, what's going on?" But if a guy's crying in the park, like, "Yo, stop being a bitch, bro. You gotta man up. You gotta get the money up. You gotta." So there's no like sympathy towards men. So men kind of throughout their ages, throughout the years going by, they kind of realize that it's do or die. Like it's just me and that's it. You know, women kind of grow up in a way like men will take care of me. That's how women are raised, right? There'd be a guy coming. That's why a lot of women don't get married anymore. A lot of men are gonna come and marry me and give me a big wedding, give me a big house. That's his job. That's his responsibility. No, that's not my job. And that's not my responsibility. That was what it was before. That's because women didn't work, but women work now. So as a guy, you should also fix your mental. Like some people have that old like mindset. Like I'm gonna pay for everything. There's nothing wrong with paying for your girl and spoiling her, but you have to also realize that she better put some money in for you too. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just people are not really growing up. Like I said, 70% animal, right? They still have that barbaric way of thinking, like, oh, I gotta take care of her. Oh, I gotta do this. Oh, I gotta do that. Realistically, you don't gotta do anything, bro. Women work, women have brains, women go to school, women are educated. She can do her own lifting. Yes, we're physically stronger than women, but they got brains, you know? Women are doctors, lawyers, judges, doing great, amazing things, and I'm really happy they are, you know? Really, I'm really fucking happy they are. But we have to understand that, like, obviously they're not as physically strong, but that doesn't mean anything, you know? That's like saying like a guy is like 6'5", 220 pound, 220 pounds, muscles and everything, and a guy is 5'6". I'm 5'6", and I'm like 160, and I don't have a lot of muscles. Like that guy will beat me up, but it doesn't mean like I'm less than a man than him. And physically, he'll beat me up, but like what I'm trying to say is like we're not living in that old times where you go hunting for the animals and you know what I mean. We're living in an advanced society, right? There's people that work out a lot and they're making minimum wage. You know what I mean? There's guys that like a toothpick and they're like making millions of dollars. So it's kind of like that, right? But I think we just have to tap into our potential. Use more of your brain. Use more of your brain. Understand that's what makes our species, so amazing. The ability to think, the ability to care, the ability to make things happen. Because you have your thoughts, you visualize it, and you put that to work, right? Don't worry about the whole other. This is why porn is very scary too, because it brings out the worst of you. Because guys and women, obviously, we're animals, right? We want to like procreate, we want to have sex. So you're seeing all these sexy women and shit like that, and it just and then it messes up your head, right? And then like a normal girl can't do it for you, right? And they know this. The ringleaders, the elites, they know this. That's why porn is free, because you're the product, right? It eats your soul, and they really want to mess people up because they know most people they can't tap into the potential. It's more barbaric, you know. That's why we wear clothes and other animals don't, because we have level of intelligence. Some people are like nudists; they don't want to wear clothes, but you want to wear clothes. I mean, there's nothing wrong showing some skin. I'm not gonna be before it bothered me, but now anymore because I'm more mature. But you have to ask yourself, like, we don't want to go naked because out of respect for others, and we don't want to talk vulgar and be disrespectful out of respect for others, right? We have brains, we have understanding. We're not animals, right? That's what separates us from animals. Some humans are worse than animals. They kill, torture, do all these kind of things, but we want to be better, right? Remind ourselves we're not animals. But that's it for this one, guys.